Hello, all you beautiful gamers, collectors, and, well, just beautiful people in general. Welcome to my channel. I am Totem Lord, and as for those of you that follow the channel, or maybe you stumbled on here by some freak accident, welcome. You know that this is a video game collecting channel. Not a very fancy or ritzy one, but hey, I do what I do. And we usually go over like unboxings and maybe like some of my low-end reviews on games that I've played, although I kind of suck at reviewing games, mostly because I hate capturing footage. I'm too freaking lazy. Anyway, I thought it would be really fun to go over and check out some of my more high-end games. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not like some, big fancy collector like Metal Jesus or the Immortal Giant Hancock, where, they have like these amazing collections and, complete sets of whatever it is they have, because truth be told, I don't have any complete sets of anything. I'm just a regular guy that that enjoys video games and collects them whenever he can. Father of four, family man, work, all that stuff. So before we start, let me show you what inspired this. Now, a lot of people use price charting to go over what their games are worth, and that is a really good one. But for those of you that follow me on the 8-Bit Nights, fellow 8-Bit Knight, 8-Bit Beard, actually showed me this app that's called a Retro Game Collector, and it is pretty cool. I do like price charting, but my problem is it's kind of texty. It's not very flashy. I mean, I do like it, but this is Retro Game Collector, and it's pretty cool. So you have all these parts right here. My camera sucks. You can't really see what's going on there, but these are different systems that I've unlocked for it. You can get this app for free, and it will give you one system to unlock. And let me just show you just a random one. What's this one? Boop. Oh no, I gotta hit the arrow. Bam. So what we're looking at here is actually Game Boy / Game Boy Color, and it shows you all the games that were made for it. And what's really cool is like you tap on one, and look at that, it shows you a picture of the of the actual game. I think that is really cool. Price chartering does not do that. It works well enough, but this is, to me, is just, well, more colorful pictures. So what you can do, you can click on that part, and it will pull up a, you really can't see it. There we go. Do you own the cart, the manual, the box? Is it sealed? And you can actually put in like some neat little personal edit ones. Like for me, I actually like the reproduction boxes for my Super Nintendo games, like the plastic ones that look pretty close to the real thing. They're not the real thing. They can't even hold the manual, but I do enjoy them. So on the side there is a personal thing. I'll put reproduction case. It doesn't add to the value of my collection. It's just something that I like. Or what's not on here is if you have some of the like NES games, they came with a map. You can actually just program map right there, and boop, you can put that on there. Doesn't increase the value according to this thing, but it's kind of a neat little feature to have. I really enjoy it. Okay, so I do not own that, but let's go back in there really quick. Now go back to Adam's Family. Now when you add it, it actually has this neat little table there. It tells you the rarity. It tells you how much just the cartridge is by itself. I'm on the wrong side. The rarity, the cart with manual, complete, or sealed. Now that is cool. I don't own very many sealed games, but it's still like this really awesome feature. Now what turned me on to this video series is this right here, the trophy room. It's on the side here, and it shows you all these, all your games right here that you have in your collection, because, you go through and you catalog your games, and it will show you. Right now, I'm on rarity. These are my most rare games on the Game Boy / Game Boy Color, and that, I thought that was so cool. This is rarity, and there's a little tab here for value, and it goes from top to bottom. What is your most valuable game? I don't know. I just love that about this. So that is what inspired this mini series that I want to do over just different systems that I do actually collect for. So if you're interested, this thing is free. No, they're not paying me to say this about it, but it is free. You get one free console to collect for, and then you have to buy the rest. You can buy them all for like about $40, but honestly, I don't care to collect for every single console. Like, I don't care about the 32X. I don't care about the CDI, the Game Gear. I actually got rid of all my stuff because it's just not a system I care for. So you can go through them and buy them individually, it's kind of neat. So anyway, let's jump into this today. Today, starting off my edition of Moment of Flex. So let's check it out. Today we're going to go over the Game Boy Advance. Why the Game Boy Advance? I don't know. It just seemed like a nice place to start. Let's pop up the trophy room. Let's go to value and let's dive in, shall we? Okay, so we're going to do top 5 here. And the number 5 one on my list today is Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. Now, this one I only have the cart for. This is a game I actually bought complete back in the day, but this is before I, actually saved the boxes, and if only I would have, because it's actually worth quite a bit more in the box. Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, just for the cartridge, is $78. That's actually kind of shocking. I did not realize that when I started this, that Minish Cap would actually be one of my top 5 games. If I had the manual, it'd bump it up to $102. That's almost $25 bumping. Actually, it's $1 off. And for complete, $254. That is nuts. But I only have the cart, so mine is worth $78. That was my number 5 game, Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. Now, let's take a look here. My number 4 game, my most valuable game, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Now this one I do have complete in box, because by this time in my video game buying times, I was actually starting to save the boxes just a little bit. Now this one, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, is actually $36 just for the cart. Oh, but I got more than that, my friends. With the manual, it is $47. Complete, this sucker is $89 for a sealed $121. So this being complete in box is only worth a little bit more than Minish Cap. How funny is that? Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, great game. It's actually one of the few tactics games I've gone through and beaten. Well, I do love the Tactics series, just haven't beaten them. Number 4, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Alrighty. Moving on now to number 3 on my 3rd most valuable Game Boy Advance game. Check it out. Final Fantasy V. Again, this is kind of going off of the whole, at this point, I was actually saving the boxes because I think at this point in my life, I was, this is when I really started to appreciate the box art, and maybe I just missed some of my older games, because my very first complete in-box game was Mega Man 2. But we're getting off topic here. For Final Fantasy V Advance, according to Retro Game Collector, for just the cartridge, it is $69. $69. With the manual, it's $79, but complete is $109. Now, I remember about a year or two ago, this sucker was actually in the 200 section. I could be wrong. I don't know what I'm basing that off of. Maybe just because I saw it at a video game store. I bought this thing when it was brand new, like on the shelf, so that's how long I've had it. I still have it in pretty good condition. It has a little bend there on the side, but on the spine, but that's okay. But yeah, number 3, Final Fantasy V, complete in box at $109. Alrighty, let's have a look-see. Now we're at number 2. Number 1 might actually surprise you, because it sure surprised the heck out of me. Number 2, my most valuable Game Boy Advance game, is Final Fantasy VI Advance. Ooh. Now this, I don't believe that a lot of games are really worth their value, but I think a lot of people would agree that Final Fantasy VI really does deserve to be worth a lot, just because the story. I'm not usually a graphics person, but the graphics are just so amazing, and the music, Final Fantasy music, is just freaking awesome. For Final Fantasy VI Advance, the cartridge alone is worth $99. That is, wow. Now, a lot of these prices I really didn't look at before then, so I'm actually being surprised with you guys, if you guys are being surprised. Edit that out. $99 for just the cartridge. With the manual, $113. For a complete, this sucker is $156. Oh my goodness. In my opinion, probably, well, I wouldn't spend that now. Maybe I would. I don't know. Who's to say how much you'd spend? If it's worth it to you, absolutely. I think this game might be worth it to me just because it's one of my very first RPGs. Number 1 on my Game Boy Advance set here will surprise you because, as you can see, there's kind of a theme here. We got Final Fantasy. Final Fantasies have dominated right here. We got Tactics, we got 5, we got 6. My number 1 most expensive game, according to Retro Game Collector, is Double Dragon Advance. This really took me by surprise. This was a game that I bought because, well, I grew up loving Double Dragon, and when I saw it on the Game Boy Advance, I just thought it'd be really cool to have. Truth be told, I actually own 2 copies of this. Not complete, but I own the second one, cart and manual. So, anywho, to see Double Dragon Advance as my most expensive Game Boy Advance game was offsetting. Cool, but offsetting. I'm really glad that I saved the box. Let's see how much this sucker's worth. For just the cartridge, it actually is not as much as Final Fantasy VI, because it goes for $67 for just the cart, with the manuals $86. For a complete, $186. OMG. And that's just for, just saving the game all these years and keeping it in good condition. Final Fantasy VI is $156. Double Dragon, $186. So it's $30 more than Final Fantasy. Honestly, I thought that an RPG would be, be like number 1, because if you're a video game collector, you'll notice a huge trend is RPGs. Those ones seem to rack up the most. They seem to rack up the most prices anywhere. So, anyway, those were my top 5 games for Game Boy Advance. Number 5 was Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. Number 4, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Number 3, Final Fantasy V. Number 2, Final Fantasy VI. And number 1, shocker, was Double Dragon Advance. I hope you guys like this video. This is just a fun little way to mix things up. I've been seeing other people do, or other video game YouTubers on my feed do like these, their most expensive games. So I just thought it would be really fun to do. So, anyway, thank you for checking me out, and I will judge you next time.